Welcome to part 8 of Luigi's Mansion. In the last part, the lights went out, we kidnapped an uncle, solved the blackout, and now we caught some toys, and now we're trying to get a boo.
You got a friend in me.
We ruined this a small world.
For some reason, this boo doesn't actually give you its name when you first expose it.
Don't worry, Yusao. I'm sure we'll be covered in the Funkland in the story of It's a Small World. What happened to it?
I forget what video. I think it was the Epcot video. He brought up how It's a Small World came to be. Actually, no, I don't think it was Epcot. I think it was the World's Fair.
Well, we can't get that boo for now.
I need to start watching the Funkland videos. Because I hear, like, Bob Iger is basically the Dio of his video.
Bob Iger? I have no idea what that means.
I've watched...
Bob Iger, CEO of Disney.
Former CEO.
No, not Bob. It's
Michael Eisner. He's the plot monkey.
Sorry. Bob Eisner was the former. That's what I said. Michael Eisner, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was full of utter nonsense. But it's like, people look a little more fondly back at him because he dared to take risks. Pretty much. Even if it meant failure.
Yeah, well, that's the risk of trying risks. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't.
I wonder how Disney would have been if Jeffrey Katzenberg was the CEO.
One thing he did say was like how Eisenhower, when he left, was that I think he said something to the effect that this needs to continue taking risks, but he doesn't believe they are going to be under the new guy. And a lot of people say he was right.
Yeah. It's not in. It's hit and miss.
Yeah. But I haven't watched all of the Funkland stuff. I've watched like the Epcot and the Fast Pass video a bunch. They're good things to have on in the background.
Well, the Epcot one, I think it's at the end of a season of like pretty much chronicling Walt Disney's life.
Yeah. And how he wanted to become a dictator.
Yeah.
What?
It makes more sense if you watch the video.
It makes sense if you watch Epcot, but Epcot's original plans were not pretty.
I know that Walt wasn't really a saint, a good guy, but,
He was a man of many contradictions. Also, yes.
I do like how... oh, well, go ahead.
Viewers, if you can't tell already, late game boo hunting is freaking terrible. I think you could be able to tell that by the constant back and forth we had to go from the hallway to here.
that's why we were. That's why we're doing a second one.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're talking about Disney.
Wait, can you change the clock time?
No.
Oh, you already did that.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes even after, if like a boo originally escaped from here, it'll still flash the thing, but it's just a false alarm. Yeah, that whole boo trying to catch the boost took like a whole 6 of the part.
Yeah, no. Going back to that, I remember the video ends on the line of something like, if you gathered 40 people in a room and asked them all who Walt Disney was, you would get 40 different Walts.
Yeah, he's a man of contradictions.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I know that BioShock has a character that's basically based off him.
Yeah. He kind of, in his later years, kind of grew to resent, like, his reputation. Like, he wanted to be remembered more than the guy who created a mouse.
Oops!
Yeah, that's what wound up happening.
Hey, weren't you that guy that screwed over the production of Mary Poppins?
We're on the roof, but there's, like... If you actually tilt the camera, there's nothing below us. It's just empty void.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say this room does not light up because you're out at night.
It somehow got lighter outside.
And now you're the closest to the moon that you're ever gonna be.
Now it's time for the I guess like the closest this game has to a side quest, because the next optional ghost we're getting has a lot more to it than the previous ones.
I think about how like now that I remind myself, I think about how Super Luigi Galaxy, you start out with Luigi passed out on a planet, so it's just like, how do you get there?
Yeah, going down this chimney is completely optional. Also, remember one of those 20% gold mice I talked about? One of them is in this room. So if it doesn't spawn, you would have to exit the room, climb all the way back to the roof, and try it again for another 20% roll.
How many times did this take you?
So, I'd have to look at the raw unedited file to see, because I don't remember off the top of my head, because I still have the raw saved.
From the sound of it, it's not the first time. Man.
Okay, give me my gold bar.
What the? You didn't even know about the chest? Where'd it come from?
The trophy.
The chalice behind it.
Yeah, sometimes the trophies will give out a gold bar.
Luigi's Mansion, except you play as Wario, and it's Wario's mouth that does all the.
Oh,
you know,
oh yeah, I was gonna actually say like way earlier that I got stuck inside the chest for a moment there, and we also got the last emerald. But what I was gonna say is there's actually data in the game for a 2-player mode that's semi-functional. But it's just you play as a second Luigi, and also in the game's file is another model for Mario, but stretched to have Luigi's proportions and has all the animations. So I should guess is like maybe Mario was going to be playable at one point, maybe in that scrapped multiplayer mode.
I know that's what people want for a multiplayer in Luigi's Mansion, that you do play as Mario.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're player 2 for once. How does it feel?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, like playing a Speech in 3D World. Just why not go for it?
Also, if you're gonna make a Luigi's Mansion 4, I'm gonna be honest. Stop making King Boo the villain.
It's like, yeah, remember when they actually tried to hide it in Dark Moon, but kind of poorly?
No, they didn't.
They tried.
A year before that game came out, when I was in an airport, I saw a poster of Luigi's Mansion 2, and it had Luigi being scared of King Boo.
Oh, like, that picture.
Yes. Just like, okay. I was like, oh, he's back.
Oh, the one in Luigi U, right?
Yeah.
No, not Luigi U, just Luigi's Mansion 2.
No, I mean, I think that exact picture is in Luigi U.
Yeah, by completing that room, we get a key to another optional room.
Like, I think Helen Gravely should have just been the villain of Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
If she had tried to become a bigger final boss, just in the hope of, like, King Boo noticing her or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I was kind of hoping that, since this game basically is Resident Evil Mario Edition, I was kind of hoping that when they first showed off King Boo for free, I was hoping that he was going to be the Mr. X / Nemesis of the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
That he'll appear in certain points where you just have to run away from him. Because you do that in the beginning. It's like, oh man, it's not gonna happen throughout the whole game.
Oh,
like,
you were wanting that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because he just disappears until near the end of the game. It's
until
like,
near
okay.
the end. And yet he's necessary. Like, it's necessary he show up at the beginning, so you know he's gonna be back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for, like, 4, there's King Boo's, like, maybe they should just not have him as the villain, and, I don't know, maybe do the whole one location again, but it's not as segmented. There's something else I was gonna say about a 4.
Luigi's Mansion 4, it's Ashley's Mansion.
I guess a minor thing is don't have the ghost brainwashed again. I don't know why we keep doing that.
just have to ghost hate Egad again. It's not that hard. He sucked him up into paintings in the first place.
But then we'll have a bunch of Fury videos thinking that Professor Egad is actually the villain. I was like, stop.
I mean, I think messing with the dead in general is already questionable. I keep thinking of that one moment in the new DuckTales where it's like a whole like they've basically like caused everything to go wrong, and the ghost character says something like, "Well, you're all doomed. I'll just go ahead and prepare your beds in the afterlife." And he floats down, and then one of the other characters says, "Does anyone find it concerning he went down and not up?"
But here's Soupy, the optional ghost we went for all these rooms to get to.
Wait, was it the butler ghost that did that?
Yes.
Okay.
See, yeah, your hint to use water on her is if you examine her heart, she says, "I won't wet the bed, I promise."
That was how she died. Hypothermia from piss.
Actually, it's a bit sadder.
What is it?
The 7-year-old girl, according to her bio, it says, "What was meant to be a short nap seems to have turned into eternal rest for sweet Soupy." So apparently she just died in her sleep during a nap.
Hey, Gage, remember that one question you asked Ian Flynn?
What?
What question?
So if you and Kara were to die, how it would be is up to you. And be reincarnated as Sonic and Tails and recreate the Sonic 2.
What did that have to do with the Soupy?
Because Ian was so scared. It's like, how I die? Hopefully in my sleep, peacefully.
Bonita.
Such a random question you asked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's messed up. Just ask them. But yeah.
For context, I was inspired by the question by the whole that Dragon Ball spin-off where a real life person dies and gets reincarnated as Yamcha in the original Dragon Ball.
That one, yeah.
So that was basically my inspiration. If that happened to a Sonic fan, what happened to a Dragon Ball fan in that story? What would
Hey, at least you asked what would happen if he reincarnated as a cool character.
Yeah. What would happen if a Sonic fan got reincarnated as Sonic?
I mean, not to say that Yamcha wasn't cool in OG Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. He had his moments.
Yeah.
Like his fight against Tien was actually good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, at least you didn't say. So if you were to get reincarnated as Cream, or Charmy B, and Espio, I was like, oh.
No, I just asked if they got, what they would do if they got reincarnated as Sonic and Tails.
Everything would go wrong around you. You can never have a vacation. Ever.
I think the one thing we agree is hopefully it would be a more dignified way than the guy in the Dragon Ball spinoff. Where he saw a cute girl, fell down a stair, and died.
I'm
pretty
sure that's how that happened.
And like the plot twist was that this was all just a prank by Beerus and Champa.
It was like they were playing like a game, and I believe one of them got fed up with the game or something.
It wasn't like there was the second person who was Chaozu.
Yeah, yes. And he lived through several different loops and got sick of it and decided to be like evil, but then the other guy calmed him down with their mutual love of Dragon Ball. Also, be careful the way you because you have to examine these statues to summon some of the ghosts. Make sure you don't standing directly in front of some of them, or otherwise that mace will hit you and damage you.
That feels like a lesson you learn on your own once. It's like riding a bike, except it's avoiding getting killed.
It's like riding a bike. You'll never forget.
Unless you're Ty.
What?
Or me, who doesn't know how to ride a bike. Yeah, said it.
No. I thought he said Ty, and I was dumbfounded.
I did. Ty flat out admitted he forgot how to ride a bike.
Oh wow. If it's like you can't figure out balance anymore, I'd understand.
No, we got the last ruby. So can we just...
You
never
hogged
talk
all the
about how-
rubies, now I'll never get Zangoose.
We thought... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this whole time that I really love the item get animation in Jingle.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm just thinking back of when I was trying to look for all the Pokemon games I could. I can never find Ruby because apparently those were those are hard to get. People love that version just because of Zangoose.
Yeah, Zangoose is the better one.
And then
Better
came
than
out
Survivor.
Auras, and I never found Omega Ruby, which I assume is the same reason.
Yeah.
Y'all
This
are
guy right
idiots.
I think it's because Primal Groudon is just more better comparatively, but I'm not so sure.
Let's see.
Sure, but why does
Look,
history have to repeat itself like that?
look. I've seen a competitive, the competitive scene for Auras. So it's like, here's Mega Rayquaza, here's Primal Groudon, here's Primal Kyogre. Wow, this is actually unbalanced and unfun. Why would you do this?
Hey, you know what? It's payback for him being outmatched by Kyogre and Rayquaza.
So this guy right here is the last optional ghost in the game, Jarvis.
Oh, he is optional.
Jarvis, because he's in a jar.
After examining the left-sided room, he'll then challenge you to that game where you have to ice him 7 times, otherwise he kicks you out.
Here, here's like, you can get Omega Ruby right now. Send it over on Amazon.
I tried sucking up the jars here to make things easier, but it's actually easier not to waste time doing this, so don't do it.
I don't even want Omega Ruby anymore. I prefer Team Aqua.
I also accidentally started sucking them up there, immediately let go, and because of that, I now glitched out the music, so it's no longer playing.
Come on.
Sick.
This guy's bio says he loves antique jars so much that he now lives in one. He can hardly contain himself.
Heh.
Alright, now let's kill him. Apparently in the Japanese version, he shares his name with a Mario and Wario enemy.
What's his name?
Suban. But
Not heard of
we'll have
that.
to collect our reward for catching him in the next part.
Alright. See ya.